Hi, good morning, or evening, or afternoon. This is Pod Becoming with me, Danny, who's your host, and I am going to do episode 1 after many months of waiting, called Becoming an IT Consultant. This is a story of how I done it, and by telling you my story, I wonder if that will help you to become an IT consultant or something else that you desire to be by just hearing my story out and I understanding what I did and how I did it, and maybe I'll go into a bit of why. So today it is the 14th November 2023. I don't know how to think about that. I had to. And in October of 2020, I became a consultant at my IT company. 2.5 years prior, I just switched from retail as a retail manager. Was that then? I think it was then. I'll have to look at my CV. But I moved from retail. Oh, no. Okay, I remember now. Okay, so I went from retail, and then I got a job working in as an analyst for a homeless charity, homeless prevention charity for the youth. But I was using Excel, and what I was able to do was kind of get that's the job I moved into from retail. Retail, as you might know, you have to do 7 days a week sometimes, depending on need, like Christmas, right? Or there's a lot of weekend work, can be evening work, early morning work, and I just thought that wasn't for me anymore. So I wanted to get into a normal 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, no weekend work. Found a job utilizing some Excel skills, which these days everyone has, but some companies are still looking for it. Utilizing that just to create reports, which is graphs, charts, and interpreting what the data means. And those charts, when you put them all on one page, that's called a dashboard. And that's what I was doing. And at this workplace, I thought, actually, I want to carry on. I'm enjoying this job. I want to carry on pursuing IT, carry on working with this, but I want to learn some new skills. And learning new skills in IT is a must. Because everything moves so fast, you want to get to a place of employment who encourage you to work, learn new things at work, and develop you. Because things quickly become skills become outdated quite some time and quite quickly, and then you might struggle to find another job if you wanted to, or you might be done out of a job in the current company that you're in, right? So, so I left and I thought, okay, well, I want to learn SQL. I don't know SQL. I want to pick it up and I want to get a job in SQL programming. But that was just what I wanted. But that's where the interest started. So it's good to have an interest. This is where my interest started, which led me to becoming an IT consultant. So how do I become an IT consultant? Or how do I get into data? How do I analyze? What kind of jobs are out there? Best thing to do, go to Indeed, go to CV Library, go to Monster, go to all these places, type in the job title that you're looking for, and when you find some vacancies, see what the job requirements are, see what they're looking for, see what the skills are. And what I did was I looked into a few of these different job roles, identified the skill sets, and at that time, a lot of the jobs were saying that they needed SQL. So that kind of reaffirmed to me that SQL was the best thing to learn at the time and invest my time into. So, and then what I did, referring to my notes on my children's little board here, use what you have around you. I then decided to self-study. Now, if I was to ask you right now to learn something, how would you do it? Would you go to a book? Would you go to ChatGPT? Where would you go? At the time, in 2018, early 2018, I went to YouTube, and YouTube was amazing. Typed in SQL for beginners, found a bunch of videos, and it's a case of first, don't look for the long videos, and look for the short videos to get an idea of what it is. And then when you have an idea of what it is, find other videos, beginning tutorial videos, that start teaching you the skills, and you'll know whether those videos are any good or not because you've already done an overview summary from another video. So I learnt SQL using YouTube videos. Then came the time to apply it. So I applied my knowledge that I was learning through the videos by downloading some free software called SQL Server, downloading the free data pack that you can find online, and installed it all onto my laptop, and then started to use some of the language, the SQL, to try and manipulate that data. And by doing so, I understood the data better, I understood what I was doing, how to do it, and then I was confident enough, got to a position where I was confident enough to put that onto my CV and start to apply for some of these jobs that are looking for SQL. Fortunately, I got an interview at a software company, and they specialized in creating a software for clients that's called an ERP software. Why do I forget what the acronym stands for? Let's look it up. I might put it in the comment section down below. But they create an ERP software, which is where a company stores the data of people, their skill sets, their roles, and also what they're interacting with. Are they interacting with medical data? If so, medical machines perhaps. And my job was that I applied for, which was a data migration analyst. First, you have to submit a CV. Then you have to maybe answer a telephone interview, a bunch of questions. If you get through to an assessment stage, which I got through to an assessment stage, I had to do 2 back-to-back exams, and I had to prove that I knew SQL. Fortunately, the questions that they asked I knew, so I got through the assessment, and apparently I aced it. And they were shocked that I'd only just been learning from YouTube videos over a few days, and then they just changed the exam. They changed the exam, I don't know why. But I got the job, and they understood that I was new, they understood that I was just learning, and they said, okay, well, we'd like to take you on, and we'll give you 2 weeks of a crash course, and help you throughout the role, which was amazing. So I got to learn on the job. I developed as a data migration analyst, which is what I wanted to do. Got to work with SQL, learn the complexities of it. And the good thing is, once you learn a programming language, other languages are more easier to understand. So after being there for a little while, a few challenges came up on creating online questionnaires using different programming languages, such as Bootstrap, using ASP.NET. And I just took on the challenge, used online resources to help me, and got through it, and then was known to be the go-to person for that need. So, to continue developing, you always have to learn. Don't stop learning, and take on challenges and give it a go. And that's the best way to grow, really. So that's what I did. And then once I felt I'd done and I'd learned everything I could in that role, I started to look for another role. And then I found a new role as a business information analyst, which then turned into a business intelligence analyst. This was for a private medical company. It was a small team, so being the only business information intelligence analyst, I had to do everything myself, which was amazing. So you get to create your own role to some degree, service a need that the company has, but also do what you need to do, want to do to get the company to give the company the answers that they need, right? So I was able to not only create my own SQL scripts, which generated reports within their ERP software that they were using, but I was also able to play with other software such as Power BI to see if I could create reports in there too. Because when you work for a smaller team, you then asked to pitch in other areas as well, such as training, supporting other sites, other teams. Very good for developing other skill sets outside of IT, and that's what I found in doing that role. And again, once I felt that I'd achieved everything I could achieve within that role, I then started to look for a new challenge, continue growing, continue developing. I could have stayed in that place and carried on working there, but I felt that I would just be repeating myself, and I would have got bored with that, to be honest. So I decided to seek another challenge. But I did help them to try and recruit someone to replace me. So always look after your employer the same way they've looked after you and employed you. I always give them that respect back. I do what I can to help them as long as I can up until I leave. I always give it my 100%. So that's what I did. Then moved on to become a senior business intelligence analyst for an NHS trust, having gained the experience that I did as a data migration analyst, a questionnaire developer, a business intelligence analyst for a small company where I was able to do so much. I was able to level up so much within the space of 2 years that I became a senior business intelligence analyst, and my sole focus was Power BI reports, and it was doing a new thing with the NHS, which was combining 2 different data sets that had never been combined before into one to get more information about how the NHS could to utilize its services in the best way for the patients, but in a cost-effective way, and identifying what the need was within wards, and being able to focus on delivering that and anticipate the need for those needs of care within wards. So it was really interesting work. Again, got to a level where I was comfortable with Power BI reports, and I was able to work within their infrastructure. You learn. I've learned over time with different organizations, you have different infrastructures to work within, different security parameters, and you have to know how to work within that. Some places use local data centers. Some places use cloud data storage. So you need to understand whether you can do that with the data that you're using. I had to be aware of that and mindful of that. Being mindful of that and getting to the level that I did, and also having exposure with Tableau and ClickView, because I like to play around and learn around the tools that I'm using, I was able then to get an opportunity to work as a business intelligence manager for a manufacturing company, a chemical manufacturing company. And there I was charged with helping to develop someone else in their skill sets. And I found that to be an interesting role, an intriguing role. I had to take over managing not only a database, but also data marts, data sets, manipulating data, but also utilizing scripts and stored procedures to migrate data from certain data storage locations, put them into a new database and generate reports from that. So all of these words made sense to me, because over time I just kept learning and tried to develop wherever I was at. And then when getting to the position of a manager, only 2-3 years after I started working at the software company in SQL, I was then able to pitch into the decisions on implementing a new ERP software on site, how to set that up, and also what kind of infrastructure would best suit the company, so that they were to some extent future-proofing themselves for another few years and able to work in a better way. So moving for me gave me so many different benefits that it's interesting, and I'd like to share that with you. So you may consider it if you feel that you're working in a job and you feel like you need a new challenge. That's how that was my route. And then having attained those positions of responsibility and those experience levels, I was then I was then able to apply for a job at my current organisation as a consultant, and I had to go through, as you do these days, a bunch of different interviews and assessments, and I was able to get a position as a data analyst, data consultant. As a consultant, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. You get to work in a way that when you're working on different projects, you're utilizing different skill sets. You can be given certain roles, different roles. So you're always learning and you're always implementing and learning on the job. And then you have resources available to you. You have different subject matter experts available to you that you can talk to, ask questions to, who can mentor you. And it's such a great position to attain within IT if you're the type of person that loves working with IT. Similarly, if you don't work with IT or don't want to be working within IT, it's there's many different disciplines out there where you can acquire a position of influence, and you can be one of those people that can make a difference, where your voice matters and counts. Just it's about gaining enough knowledge or experience to have the confidence to voice an opinion, whereby you know what the subject is that you're talking about. So that's, in a nutshell, how within 2.5 years I became a consultant. It's not the norm from what I probably gather, but if you can do whatever you only. I did what I was able to do. Everyone's different. Some people could do things in quicker time. Some people take longer. That's fine. I just think keep challenging yourself. That's what I do, and keep trying to learn and excel, and do the best that you can, and see where life takes you. So that was becoming an IT consultant, episode 1, and how I did it. My next episode is going to be something that I can't remember yet, but you'll find out in the next video. So thanks for watching this video. It's new, it's from my own home, and if ever you wanted to create your own podcast, maybe I'll do an episode on that. Alright, thanks everyone. Have a great time today, doing whatever you're doing. Bye. Oh, you're still there. Alright, bye. Bye. Why is this thing not working? Bye. Bye-bye.